What's up, fantasy managers? This video, we're doing player reaction on who smashed and on who crashed, and then we sprinkle in a little bit of star of the week, and then we're also going to bust out some news that happened over the weekend. If that interests you, stick around for 7 seconds. You can do it!
What's up, Zoners? This is Tyler, Big Turd Ward, and Jason, the lucky bastard Ethan Wolf, coming at you live from the West Coast. And this is the Fantasy Red Zone. Today's episode, Week 4 smashes and crashes. So, players that did terrible and players that did well. We have one in each position this week, Jason. We're going to keep it that way moving forward. We have news, and we're going to go over our starts of the week. Mine, 3 smashes in a row. Come back here, listen to what I say. Jason, before we get into all of that, would you please tell the public how they can help this show?
Yeah, if you guys made it this far, if you guys could please hit the subscribe, press the like. We like the likes. And leave us a comment. Let us know some of the players that you had on your team that smashed or crashed. And then if you like the radio, we're also on Spotify, the Fantasy Red Zone.
Thank you, Jason. All right, man, getting into the news. The news for yous. You know, I've never been close to an Italian mobster type of city, but I wish I was. Because I would be like, yous, what are you saying? All right, anyways, enough of that shit. Noah Fant, Jason, is officially active for Week 4. And if you're in tight end hell, I've been paying attention to Noah Fant, but still, he's not really a solid option. Jason, Saquon Barkley has been declared inactive for tonight's football game.
Yeah, I saw that he had the letter D branded on him like most of the weekend.
Branded, huh?
It was D for doubtful.
I remember for a while, man, those like college football players were kept on getting like their, Oregon State branded
I
on
know.
And I was like, oh my God, dude. I always hear tattoos now. I think
Is that what you thought of? Like Saquon Barkley just branding the D?
Like, what college he went to?
I'm doubtful.
But yeah, so Saquon Barkley, like we said, what would you do with Saquon Barkley, Jason, if you were an owner? Or would you be trying to trade for him while his value is in the pits, like Kyle Pitts?
I would probably try to get rid of him. From what I'm seeing,
I would use his name and shop him. I have not looked at his playoff schedule, but I do know that they have the worst schedule in the league, and that offensive line sucks.
Worst schedule, worst line, worst quarterback.
Yeah. Speaking of worst quarterback, Jason, Kenny Pickett, his knee is not considered serious because we were all like, dude, that's it. We were thinking Mitch Trubisky's going to come in here, and he might be more dynamic than Kenny Pickett, but it looks like Trubisky might not even get a week to himself. There is no timetable right now, but apparently it is not bad, and he has a chance to play in Week 5.
Yeah, I was watching that game. The first thing I thought about when he went down, I was like, well, there goes his ACL. And I'm like, is Trubisky that much better? Because Trubisky got benched last year for Pickett. So, I'm like,
Man, okay, Jason. This is a big one for me. Chase Claypool. We know that he could be an amazing wide receiver. He was a healthy scratch. I'm still sick. He was a healthy scratch. I was a non-healthy scratch. Last week, and now they sent him away from the team even this week. So I assume that some team out there, Jason, he did well in the very structured, the well-ran Steelers locker room with Mike Tomlin. There's got to be like people, in the league that think they have a good culture and think that they could do something with Chase Claypool. I do not think he would do well on the Chiefs, but it would be interesting. I mean, they already got Tony, and that's not really working out. So, I don't know. There are some interesting teams for Claypool.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have that much trust with Claypool.
What if he went to... Damn, dude. I can't even think of right now. What if he went to the Buffalo Bills?
No, absolutely not.
All right.
They got Gabe Davis, dude.
Gabe Davis is catch. I haven't checked, but I did see Gabe Davis got another touchdown. I'm like, motherfucker, dude. I drafted you last year. I know he hurt his ankle, but still.
I think he was still under 10 points though with that touchdown.
Okay, he's been catching like 20-yard touchdowns, so that doesn't surprise me. And like that's it. So if he doesn't catch a touchdown, that is it. Nothing. Jason, Jahan Dotson. I think people are talking about dropping him. Should I drop Jahan? Should I drop Jahan?
I mean, he did score a touchdown in yesterday's game to send it in overtime. I don't know what he was doing up until then, but are you telling me the Redskins scored what, like 28, 31 points and he wasn't involved?
Do you know what? He did catch a late touchdown, because I remember like they'd be like, that late touchdown was just enough syrup to keep me drinking that Kool-Aid, some shit like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Keep me coming back for more. So good thing you got that touchdown, Jason. This is one of your favorite things on this website, right?
Yeah.
He did not practice. He was limited during practice on Monday. The Commanders did not hold practice Monday, so this is an estimation.
I don't even understand that. Like, he was at the facility, maybe, like, watching game tape? Is that, like... And he was a limited action.
Why would you say you're fucking limited, dude?
I don't know. He only watched 2 hours of game tape instead of 3.
Hey, if you guys know of a good breaking news website, just hit me with it, because I'm going to tools.thehuddle.com. And sometimes this shit is dumb, but it does update well. I like it. Jason, I was looking at this dude to put on my waiver wire. Curtis Samuel, did you see that?
Yeah, he scored. He had like a rushing touchdown.
This is the same thing, the Commanders he did not practice bullshit, but I do want to say he got that touchdown. He has at least 50 yards in 3 of his first 4 games. And this offense is a lot. I mean, it is coming into his own.
Slowly but surely.
Yeah, and then Jason, you bastard. You know I hate you sometimes, right?
Yeah. Why now?
You texted me and you're all, what's his name? Tyler Heineke in quarterback.
Oh.
No.
Yeah, well, dude, from my expert opinion, that's what I think is going to happen after that game I watched in London that I woke up at 6:30 in the morning to watch. I was like, oh my gosh, dude. Ritter had like 2 back-to-back touchdowns. One was a pick 6. It was awful to watch. I'm like, dude, Tyler, you said it best. It's like they're not scoring touchdowns, and that like makes me concerned as a Bijan Robinson owner. Like, he's getting the yards, yes, but can we put some more points on the board? And Ritter he's not able to do that.
His ceiling is limited, man. Like, that's the difference between him and, like, the difference between Bijan and Christian McCaffrey right now is just touchdown opportunities.
Yeah.
And
well put.
Oh, but I did want to say, Desmond Ritter, Arthur Smith came out, that bastard, and said that he's still the quarterback, so fuck, man.
Oh.
And then, dude, Joe Burrow, Jason, is expected to start in week 5, man. Like, this is worst possible scenario for Joe Burrow. He just lost T. Higgins, ribs, and they are not fractured. So it is not like a super long-term injury, but, dude, missing weapons. I don't know, dude. If you drafted that stack, just think about that Matthew Berry's fucking fantasy football hour. That I told you about, that guy that drafted round 1 Jamar Chase, round 2 fucking T. Higgins.
Yeah.
Then I think he actually got Joe Burrow later. And it's like, hey, do you guys want to fucking point this out? Like, that's a bad strategy. No. We're just gonna talk good shit about everything, because fuck that show.
That's not the best draft.
Jesus Christ, though, dude.
He's screwed now.
I'm just saying, man. Like, Bengals are one of the teams that are fucking people this year.
Yes. I have Jamar Chase in the Yahoo League.
Yeah, man. And like Jamar Chase, at least he's gonna get those targets, and like, but it's just gonna be the touchdowns and scoring opportunities.
I want that
deep, crazy ass 50-yard touchdowns that he used to getting. Jonathan Taylor, Jason, he is supposed to start practicing next week. He has not been ruled out for the week 5 game against the Tennessee Titans. I would not want to start against the Titans if I was him.
Starting this week? Or he's practicing this week, this Wednesday, right?
Yeah, this week.
Okay.
Sorry.
If he's going for week 5, then I think he has to start practicing on Wednesday. I think that's what I saw.
Okay. So, but, hey, I am down to trade for Jonathan Taylor. At the same time, there is a lot of risk here, people. We talked about when running backs hold out, for a while, or just aren't with the team and the entire training camp and shit like that. It makes a big difference, dude.
If he's playing this weekend, are you putting him in?
If you drafted Jonathan Taylor, fuck yeah, you are.
All right.
Oh God, no, against the Titans?
Against the Titans.
It depends on who your running back 2 is, dude. Because like, I forget who I'm having on bye next week, but I only have like 3 viable running backs right now. So
the buys are starting.
I know, so it sucks because I really like starting 3 wide receivers and over 3 running backs. Like I used to always be about those running backs when I played standard leagues, and I never morphed into a wide receiver player until this year, Jason, and it's helping me a lot.
We brought you to the dark side.
Yeah, Jason and I have the best teams in our fantasy leagues. Jason just scored almost 200 points this week. I scored over 200 points last week.
It's
Raheem
nice.
must start. Fuck me this week, but whatever. Jason, Jimmy Garoppolo, you and I are both concerned about this now that we know that Aiden O'Connell sucks. I mean, he is a rookie, but still. He's in concussion protocol, and he's remaining in concussion protocol. We hope to God he can go next week.
Yes, I never thought I would say this, but bring back Jimmy. Get well soon. We need you.
Man, I had a fan pointed right in my face, and with me being sick, I think that was hurting my throat. Jason, this is a good one for you too. Justin Herbert fucking broke a finger on his non-throwing hand, right?
Yeah.
And he says no big deal. They have a week. Also, it was a gruesome injury. Ooh, a gruesome injury to his fingernail. I don't even want to think about that, man. I hate fingernails.
I didn't know that. Oh.
So, there you go. He has a bye. He's going to be playing. If you are a Justin Herbert owner, I think he's QB1 on the year. Jason lucked into him because he wanted 3 other quarterbacks over him.
Yeah. I wanted every quarterback over him, basically.
Yeah.
Won like 5.
All right, man. I mean, can you think of any more breaking news? That is it that I have right here. It gets right into it.
I think that's it.
Oh, I didn't do the Deshaun Watson one. Where the hell was it? I saw Deshaun Watson. Shoulder
How's he
medically
feeling?
cleared. Oh, he's medically cleared. That was old. That's old. So it doesn't really matter. All right. Jason,
Yeah.
before we get into that, you want to get into, let's go over our starts of the week. This should be a good one for you. Who was your start of the week?
It's going to be pretty quick. It was Mr. T. Higgins.
And was he? And he got injured in the game, right?
Yeah, this is going to be a pretty fast one because I loved his opportunity, his matchup against the Titans, who are not very good in the secondary. And he is getting the targets. I feel like his catch rate at 35% is just too low for an all-star athlete, and it was going to increase. So he had, 2 receptions for 19 yards. He had 4 or 5 targets. And then he just didn't come back out in the second half.
Yeah, so can't predict injuries, but the way that game was going, it was going to be a shit show anyways, and it sucks, man. I did not see that game coming after last week, so
Yeah.
I don't blame you, Jason, and we can't hold it against you. That will be a wash because of an injury. Jason,
Unfortunately,
what's up?
unfortunately, that's the case. I remember, or I was watching. I was like, dude, how come I'm not seeing nothing out of T. Higgins? And I kept looking up, and it's rib injury, did not return in the second half. I was like, oh my gosh, come on.
So last week I picked Kenneth Walker, Super Smash. Week before that, Keenan Allen, Super Smash. Week before that, should have been fucking Super Smash, but for some reason Mostert didn't run against the goddamn Dolphins. Against the Chargers.
Broncos?
No, I'm talking about first.
Okay, yeah, you're going back. All right.
I'm saying, man, ooh, boy.
Yeah.
My starts of the week have been good. And this week, people, I was sick of the slander of Puka through ESPN rankings and fucking projections and all this other, all the Reddit shit. That's it, man. He's regressing. I was like, fuck, dude, what are you guys watching, man? And Cincinnati's pass defense is great. They hold people down as far as wide receivers go. Jason, Puka, what the hell? Why doesn't it tell me how many? 27.5 points. He was projected 11.3. So Super Smash.
Yeah, he scored the winning touchdown.
So, are we confident that Puka can retain? So I said, Jason, it's funny that I said this on that show, Friday show. I was like, he is a top 5 wide receiver option until something changes. And this weekend happened, and now everybody's like, I forget what I was. Oh, Colin Cowherd and all this. He's a top 5 wide receiver. Am I wrong? It's like, fuck you, dude. Flip flop. Anyways, Jason, Puka, I still will think be a top 12 wide receiver when Kupp comes back.
Well, I mean, he's scoring so many points right now. He's going to have 10 bad games to be outside the top 12.
No, I'm saying on an average per week, starting when Cooper Kupp comes back. I'm not even with the accumulated points that he's already had.
Yeah, that's That's pretty good. He's definitely got the talent. He shows he's got the talent. We're going to have to see who Stafford's going to favor those 20 targets going to in the game. If is he going to take some away from Cooper Kupp? Hey, so I saw this stat too that the year that Cooper Kupp won the Triple Crown and he like killed it, like 2 or 3 years ago.
Killed.
Huh?
Yeah, he killed it, and I was all
He killed it. Puka is actually in his first 4 games is doing better than what Cooper Kupp did that year.
He's a bigger Cooper Kupp, man, and like they were saying that he sets up cornerbacks. Like what rookie sets up cornerbacks? They just try to get open. Like he's like selling moves and like, dude, he's an awesome player, dude. And he's got Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford got fucking injured. He was like, I thought he was gonna get carried off the field, and he finished the game. So hopefully he's okay. I haven't heard shit about it.
You got to keep him in there. You got to keep him in there.
All right, Jason. First smash, Lamar Jackson.
Okay. Hold on. Where's my mouse?
And this was a huge surprise to me. They went against the Browns, right?
Oh, this is why I was like, we need to talk about Lamar Jackson. Because he went up against one of the best defenses in the league. I did not expect him to score 27 points when ESPN projected him at 18. He did more damage with his legs than he did with his arms because he only had 19 pass attempts and only threw for 186 yards. He just had 4 incompletions, but he rushed for 2 touchdowns and both inside the 10-yard line. I think this goes to show that Jackson can have a subpar passing game like he did against a really good defense in the Cleveland Browns because he could still rush for TDs. If I remember right, I think the game before this, he also rushed for 2 TDs also. But because of that, the throwing game is not necessarily there. And his little prediction that he wanted to throw for like 6,000 yards this year, I don't think that's going to happen because even his average air yards to the sticks is the 3rd worst in the league at a minus 2.6. So most of his passes are not even going 10 yards. And out of the 2 out of 4 weeks, he's thrown under 200 yards. That's not a good progression on the way to 6,000. Just joking about the 6,000. But you get what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. And then I said, yeah, he has 4 rushing touchdowns this year. He had 2 games. He had back-to-back games with 2 touchdowns and 3 straight weeks at 20-plus points, fantasy points. And he's one of the guys. He's the guy that I was actually aiming for in the fantasy draft, like at round 3, I think it was. I just missed him, but I got somebody else on this list instead.
Yeah. Lamar Jackson, dude, I think I advised somebody to say, do not do it, man. Don't do it. And I look like an asshole now. So, yeah, like what he ran, you say he ran for 2 touchdowns and then he threw for 2 touchdowns?
Yeah. Well, I didn't say yeah. He rushed for 2 touchdowns, but he also did throw for 2 touchdowns.
And you know what's crazy, Jason? This is the highest one I've seen of this. Like this, I don't know how this gets much higher. His completion percentage over expectation was plus 21.3%. So it's like,
yeah, he only had 4 incompletions.
Yeah, but still. And then I saw this, Jason, against the zone, right? 12 of 13, 172 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a 158.3 perfect passer rating. So if you can find, I want to find websites that can tell me what defenses that primarily of what teams run this year. So then you can kind of correlate, hey, dude, Lamar Jackson's going against zone. Christian Kirk is going against man a lot, or something like that. So if you know one of those websites, please comment below.
So he's killing the zone.
He's in the zone, man.
He's in the zone. He's that's a perfect thing for a tight end, right? Zone coverage. But if they're playing man coverage, it's easy for him just to run out.
Yeah, and Jason, people have been freaking out, dude. Mark Andrews owners have been freaking out left and right. And everybody's been saying, just wait, dude, just wait. You got Mark Andrews, man. Just shut up. And, it ended up being like that. So I would expect a lot more of that going forward. But, yeah, dude, so Lamar Jackson, man. He was at Cincinnati. We just talked about stingy defense, right? 22 points. At home against Indianapolis, they're great. They have a great front seven. They can stop the run. 29 points. And then here at Cleveland, 27 points. So, dude, Lamar Jackson is quietly killing shit right now.
Yeah, I'm surprised not more people are talking about that because he's killing it. Like you said, he almost had like a 30-point game.
Well, ever since J.K. Dobbins, you know, we talk about viable running backs for me. I fucking lost J.K. Dobbins the first game. I mean, he got me a touchdown, I'm pretty sure. But I've just been like, man, I just try. Sometimes I just block out some teams, you know, and I pay attention for waiver wire stuff. But yeah, I guess I have not been stringing these together. Lamar Jackson, good games.
Yeah, well, it's nice when they get to the goal line and they're coming up plays with him to rush the ball in.
Would you trade Lamar Jackson for Anthony Richardson plus a solid player?
Yeah, I would take Anthony Richardson. He did well this week too, right?
Yeah, and he looked like shit the first half, and then he came back big time.
Yeah, as long as he gets his rushing touchdowns, man. Yeah, your prediction of him is holding true. He is doing quite well, quite lovely.
Yeah, but you know, I don't know whether to start him or Jalen Hurts, or do I trade him, or do I trade Jalen Hurts? I don't know if anybody's a Colts fan in our league, you know.
Not no more.
Not no more, man.
That's how I am. You know, I have Jalen Hurts in our Yahoo league, and I'm trying to trade him.
Well, I think that I just listened to Chris Long. I do think Jalen Hurts, they have the weapons. All the personnel is the same. They have the offensive line. It's just a matter of time to get used to this offensive coordinator and stuff. He does believe the passing game will come. That is the most complicated part of an offense. Jason, do you want to head into the 4-touchdown man?
Yeah.
Christian McCaffrey. I tried to trade Raheem Mostert and Kenneth Walker for him last week. I was like number 1 and number 4 running back for the number 2 overall running back. Dude, had I pulled that off, Jason, I would have been so happy right now.
Yeah, he played pretty well. I was watching some other game, and then every time they went to a highlight of this San Francisco game, it was just Christian McCaffrey scoring. It was crazy to watch. He was projected 18 points, and he finished with 45 freaking points. Four touchdown game against the Cardinals. He touched the ball 27 times. He had 20 rushes and 7 receptions on 8 targets. He averaged 5.3 yards per carry and 10 yards per catch. McCaffrey on average sees around like 25% sees an average 8 men in the box like 25% of the time, which is around like kind of league average. But this game, he saw 8 men in the box only 15% of the time. And behind that offense line and only having 8 men in the box like 50% of the time, he can do whatever he wants. That's why he averaged 5.3 yards per carry. And it's like the 49ers, they have so many weapons on offense. You can't put 8 men in the box more than like 45% of the time. You can't do it because you got Debo, you got Kittle, you got Brandon Ayuk. They have too many weapons to watch out for in that wide receiver core. McCaffrey continues to have a good start to the year. You know, this is why a lot of people picked him first overall, and this is going to continue on.
Yeah, dude. Gosh, I was just thinking about that because I'm thinking Arizona Cardinals, man, their defense should be. I mean, they've got a defensive head coach to only stack the box that much. That seems pretty crazy to me.
Yeah.
Jason, so did you know that Christian McCaffrey now has 18 touchdowns in 18 games played with the 49ers?
Well, there you go. That's why they traded for him.
So, yeah, and he recorded his highest rushing success rate at 55% in a game since joining the 49ers. And so what you said about A-man box, that's why.
Yeah.
And then he also gained plus 17 yards after contact. Over expected in his or after catch 17 yards after the catch on his 7 receptions. He leads all running backs in yards after the catch over expected since 2022. So plus 2019. Like, dude, he is so good in the open field. I know he's old-ish. I mean, I'm fucking old as shit relative to this guy, but old for a running back. But man, just watching him on those highlight plays, like his awareness is so crazy. I don't know, man. He just makes fools miss left and right. So
yeah, I mean, there's a highlight. I think it was on like his touchdown run where he
that's what it was.
He like leaped over a guy.
That one right there. I remember watching. I was like, shit, dude. Like I know he's old, but like He still got the moves.
And you got that coach, you got that offensive line, like perfect system for him.
So, like I said, if you can go big and trade for Christian McCaffrey, fucking do it. But you're not going to do it now because he just scored 40 whatever points. So, Chris Long, who I value his opinion a lot, talk about him a lot on this. Jason, he said that his biggest concern is the usage of Christian McCaffrey. He's like, why are they giving him the ball this many times, man? Like, he's like, I loved it, but I would not be giving him the ball this many times in the first 4 weeks. So, that made me want to go pick up Elijah Mitchell again. I don't know how you feel.
Oh, dude, screw Elijah Mitchell.
He's just going to get hurt again. He might be back for one fucking game. I like Jordan Mason, but still, dude, nobody is Christian McCaffrey. They would be losing so much without Christian McCaffrey on this team.
I like Jordan Mason too, man. I'm surprised he's not up there more.
Yeah, he looks huge when he's out there.
He does, and he looks fast, and huge,
and he's undrafted. So Shanahan special right there. Anything else you have to say about that, Jason?
Yeah, I think Christian McCaffrey, he scored 4 touchdowns, and I think he either tied or broke like Jerry Rice's record for most touchdowns in a game.
Yeah, so again, we had to include this because it's historical. I mean, if you score over 40 points, dude, you're going to be making our smash list.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Hey, this is why you drafted him high. I don't think he was not. I don't know. No, he was not available when I picked. I was going to pick Tyreek Hill over him, and I would still feel okay about that too. So whatever.
Yeah, I'll be all right with Tyreek Hill.
All right, Jason. Next smash. Going to be talking your man from last year, maybe from the last couple of years, Stefon Diggs.
I like Diggs. I'm him. What's he say? Him is me. Another super smash here. This guy was projected by ESPN 14 points, and he ended with 37. Diggs had a lot of points for only having 6 receptions, which is his lowest on the season. He averaged 20 yards a reception with 122 receiving yards, which are season highs for him. It's funny how that kind of like
season
plays
highs.
Out. The highs for him. And he had 3 total touchdowns, where he had 3 touchdowns. His long touchdown that was 55 yards was pretty sick to watch. Is where he fought off like an ankle biter. He like juked this guy, and the guy was like holding on to his ankles. He's like biting at him. It was like The Walking Dead. It was like, shoo, get out of here, you. He had 60 more yards than Gabe Davis. He had 2 more receptions than Dalton Kincaid. Kincaid was up there in receptions. What I also like about this is that Diggs only had like 2 yards of separation, but still had a catch rate of 85%. That shows his elite catching ability, where he could catch 85% of the passes thrown to him. Even though they have like a DB on him, like a wet blanket, it doesn't matter. He can make the difficult catches. And this is Diggs' this is his 4th 3-touchdown game. And this is the ceiling. His ceiling's high, and this is why you draft him. Because he can do games like this.
Dude, he has 4 career 3-touchdown games.
Yes.
And he's tiny, I mean, he's like, I don't know. You'd be lucky if he's 6 foot.
One of them, I believe, it was with the Vikings, too.
I believe that. Well, Jason, so Diggs, this is the, This is the, God damn it, not Josh McDaniels. Who's the guy we like, Jason? Who's the coach?
Mike
McDaniels. This is the Mike McDaniels effect on the league right now, Jason. Stefon Diggs was in motion on all 3 touchdowns so far today. All this was written, I guess, whatever. All 3 have come against Kaua, which is the nearest defender, but still. No player has had more than 2 receiving touchdowns in motion in a game since the next-gen stats era. So, apparently, Diggs is digging this motion shit, and it is going to be a theme all year long. I bet you they keep on incorporating more and more of it. So, I actually really like Diggs going forward, because that motion is just like, it's killing defenses right now.
Yeah, especially when in that they were the second highest scoring offense going into that game. And Diggs is a big part of it.
Yeah. And Jason, did you see that 55-yard touchdown?
Yeah, the ankle biter.
Oh, that's what that was. So Josh Allen and Stefon Diggs, the most yards after catch over expected on a play since 2018 on that play right there. So he caught it. It was not expected to go very far, and he took it for a goddamn touchdown. I know.
Yeah, the ankle biter on him.
I know. That is the 10th touchdown on a sideline target since 2018. That is the most in the NFL. So this fool operates on the sidelines. And you remember like the Minnesota Miracle and all that shit?
Yeah.
Like Diggs loves like that's just like those deep vertical routes or whatever. Oh shoot. Oh, anyways, what else did I have? Dude, since 2018, Stephon Diggs leads the NFL in receptions, 44, receiving yards, almost 700, and touchdowns, which is 10, like I just said, on targets within 2 yards of that boundary. So, like, dude, I'm telling you, like,
Wow.
if you can, if teams have really weak outside cornerbacks or whatever, that's why Diggs is so fucking good, man. Like, he works that outside of the numbers like better than anybody else.
Well, he made that cornerback look real weak.
Yeah, dude.
A weakling.
I saw this thing about Josh Allen on this too. Is he completed a career high plus 14.2% of his passes over expected, recording a 69% success rate. That's the second high of his career. So yeah, dude. So Josh Allen, that was a very outlier game for everybody.
Yeah, I also saw that like Josh Allen, he scores the most touchdowns against the Dolphins. He averages like 3 or 4 touchdowns a game against them.
Yeah, and the 3 previous games, he was like targeting vertical routes, you know, like we were just talking about, like the ones that Stephon Diggs was actually doing well in this game. He was only 7 for 20 for 127 yards, 2 touchdowns to 4 interceptions coming into the game on those throws. This game, he was 6 for 8, 150 yards and 3 touchdowns. So this was like his Achilles, like was doing these Stephon Diggs specials. In this game, it just really broke out for him.
Yeah, really showed it.
All right, Jason. Ready for the tight end, the last of the smash?
Yeah, let me get out of this real quick.
We got Mandrews. Everybody was all fucking getting, you know, worked up. Hey, why'd I trade for Mandrews? Why'd I draft Mandrews? Man, bro, this is why you did it. And it's probably going to stay this way, so.
Oh, yeah. Mark Andrews, ESPN projected him at 9 points, and he finished with 22.5. 5 receptions for 80 yards on 5 targets. Not great, but 2 touchdowns, Tyler. Andrew scored from 7 yards out, where he jumped over the entire team for the reception and landed inbounds. It was amazing. And then he had an 18-yard touchdown that it was 10 yards after the catch and run, and he ran around like 2 defenders to get there. Like, that was cool to watch, too, against this defense that's legit and elite. He led the Ravens in targets, but then again, you know, Lamar only threw the ball like 19 times. So, but the main point about this is Andrew scored 22 points against a defense that is great at stopping tight ends. And I tell you what, Andrews doesn't look hurt anymore. He don't look hurt no more.
I mean, he had 42 yards, which is over 50% of his yards came after the catch. So if you're hurt, that's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
So yeah, Jason.
Kind of basic stuff, you know.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't have much about Andrews because it's just like, yeah, dude, this is he's been down. This is what we expected. I do want to see. Was Odell Beckham out that game?
Yeah, I don't think he played again.
So that's my one concern. When I was coming into this year, I was like, Odell Beckham's going to be taking some touchdowns away from. Yeah, sorry, I've got it pulled up now. And yeah, Zay Flowers was the most targeted wide receiver. Yeah, dude, I wonder if I should have checked this before, but who's that? The Bates, or he's in his second year. I think 2 wide receivers were actually out for Baltimore this last game.
You talking about Bateman?
Yeah, Bateman.
Oh, he was out too?
I'm pretty sure. So, but I don't care, dude. Like, I really do feel like Mark Andrews is going to be the most targeted person on this team. He's going to lead the team in touchdowns, and he's going to lead the team in yards probably at the end of the season. As much as I like Zay Flowers, you cannot run from Mark Andrews.
Maybe that's why they ran the ball more than they passed it, because they have so many wide receivers that were out. They're just trying to control the game.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to see right now because I know that Odell Beckham was, but Rashad Bateman out. Yeah, so they were both out. That makes sense. So this should have been expected, but still, dude, against the fucking Browns, I did not expect this at all. I figured he was going to get a lot of targets, man, but he didn't even get that many targets, Jason. So
I know, yeah, but he scored 2 times, which is what we want, even on limited access.
And in that game, I do want to point out, I feel bad. DTR, man, Three interceptions, Jason, 120 yards passing.
Yeah.
We had high hopes. One guy was asking if I should start him or not, and I was like, don't do it just yet.
Yeah, I started the Ravens defense against them. Did me pretty good.
And then it's your last chance. I'm going to probably keep on repeating this, but since we're talking about the Ravens, go pick up Keaton Mitchell. That's your last chance. It's probably your last chance. People are talking about him way too much.
If you're not Keaton, you're losing.
Yeah. All right, Jason. We're going up to the crashes. Going straight to hell. We're going to hell. Who's coming with me?
I'm going to hell. Who's coming?
My dad's going crazy.
Bum, 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 bum.
That's that song, dude. If you know Eminem, you know what I'm talking about. Mac, speaking of Eminem, Jason, we got an M right here.
Okay.
Mac Jones.
Mac Jones. He was rejected 13 points by ESPN, and he finished with a fat goose egg. 0. 12 for 21, 150 yards, and 2 interceptions. Jones had minus 10.6 in completion percentage, which is awful. And he was just making bad decisions against the Cowboys. It's like quarterback one-on-one, right? You don't throw across the field. Jones did it once earlier in the game, and it worked out. It's like, okay, it's done. You completed the pass, but don't do that again. I guess Jones had a little itch, and he wanted to do it again. So he did it again, but this time didn't work out, and it was intercepted and taken to the house. And you just see Bill Belichick just like, are you kidding me? Like, this is my starting quarterback. What have I done? Tom Brady, I miss you. After that, next thing you know, Jones was sitting on the bench the rest of the game. Jones has had 5 touchdowns and 4 interceptions this season, and 3 of those TDs were in the first week. Jones is having a rough season. He's having a rough go, and he got replaced by, don't worry, B. Zappe.
B. Zappe.
So I'm curious to see if Mac Jones is going to come out next week as a starter, or if it's going to be Zappe.
Dude, I think Bill Belichick there's a good chance if he just. They're talking about him probably not keeping his job, but he's 17 games away from being the most winning coach in Don Shula's win record. So they might keep him there just for that. But fuck, dude, I'd probably think about canning his ass and putting some offensive coordinator as my coach now, or some other offensive coordinator. Ben Power, the dude from Ben Johnson from the Lions. Anyways, Jason, Matt Jones, negative 10.6%. Completion percentage over expected. So he just was not doing good at all. His confidence has been shit, dude, the last, 2 weeks now?
Yeah.
And let me see what I wrote on him. I do want to say, Jason, was it last week was the Cowboys' first game without Trayvon Diggs?
Yeah.
They played a lot. I think that was kind of a shock for that defense, and they didn't really know what to do. And now we saw the old Cowboys defense back. Micah Parsons generated 9 pressures in the Cowboys' 38-3 victory over the Patriots. His 8th consecutive game with 5+ pressures. That is the second longest streak in the Next Gen Stats era. And Parsons, he is leading the NFL in almost every single pass rush category. So, I mean, the Patriots usually have a pretty good offensive line, but it doesn't matter, man. Right now, when you're going against the Cowboys, you're going to die.
Yeah. And, they were playing at home. Their secondary played a lot better. Their defensive line played a lot better. There wasn't much going on from the Patriots game. I just thought it was like, dude, this quarterback had 0 points. So he was like 13 points under projections. Like, we got.
And he played almost the whole game to get 0 points.
Yeah.
He's quarterback 19 right now, Jason, but that's before this week is over with.
Well, I know he's not going up.
But he's had a rough go. I mean, he had to go against Philadelphia. Miami, he should have scored more points. I mean, in Philadelphia, dude, he had 3 touchdowns, 300 yards.
Yeah, he had a good game against Philadelphia.
I mean, and the front is good there. Miami, he only had 13 points. At the Jets, that's rough. I mean, just like what happened to, what's Mahomes last night. But, dude, at Dallas, he gets at home against New Orleans, Las Vegas. Then he has to go to Buffalo, Miami again. I mean, his schedule is not great. And in the playoffs, he has to go at home against Kansas City. That's not good. He has to be at Denver and then at Buffalo, dude. So if you want to I don't think Mac Jones. I think there are people on your waiver wire that would probably be better than Mac Jones this year.
At Denver in the playoffs?
Yeah, that's the only good game. But he's at home against Kansas City. Kansas City's defense is pretty good, even though fucking Zach Wilson looked good last night against it. But at Buffalo, dude, in the championship, I don't know. Kansas City and Buffalo kind of scare me. That's all.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, after the bye, dude, he's got the Giants, the Chargers, and at Pittsburgh. So that's 3 big games going into the playoffs. I don't know, dude. That's tough to say. I need to go look at quarterbacks again.
Yeah, and then see if Mac Jones is even going to start next week.
Because your dad dropped Stroud. You know, Stroud's going to be the most picked up person on our league this week.
Yeah, I'm going after him.
And he's fucking me up, man. I want to trade away Anthony Richardson. I'll just trade whoever doesn't get Stroud, Anthony Richardson. All right, Jason. Next up, you ready?
Yeah.
Miles Sanders. I said to start Miles Sanders if Bryce Young doesn't start. Dude, Bryce Young is holding this team. Here we go looking at CJ Stroud processing information and looking good. That's supposed to be Bryce Young's strength, man, and it ain't happening.
Yeah, you can't process anything when you can't see over the line. Okay, Miles Sanders, here we go. He was rejected 13 points by ESPN, and he finished with 3.5. This game marks the 3rd straight game rushing under 50 yards, and the 3rd straight game under 65 total yards. Against the Vikings, Sanders was minus 17 rushing yards over expected, and the Vikings held Sanders to a minus 1.3 rushing yards attempt over expected. Those are horrible stats to have as a running back. He saw 8 men in the box 30% of the time, and I don't blame the Vikings because I wouldn't be afraid of Bryce Young throwing the ball.
That means for the Vikings to do that, that means they don't give a fuck.
They were not afraid of Bryce Young. How did Bryce Young do? 25-32, 204 yards, no touchdowns. Chuba Hubbard, he outperformed Sanders and received more rushes than Miles Sanders, and it just makes me think, is like, Tyler, remember when we were selling Sanders like pretty hard in the offseason?
Yeah, but then I saw their offensive line in the preseason, and I was like, fuck this team. I did the same thing with Houston, though. So I was right on one, wrong on the other.
Yeah. They just, when we heard that he was going to the Panthers, and it was like, this is a good setup with the coach. But that offensive line, that quarterback play, it's hard to get any running game going over there in Carolina.
16, yeah, because they both had the same amount of touches, Chuba and Miles. Miles had a groin injury, and you could tell that he was hurt. From what I get, he had let's see. Yeah, Chuba Hubbard ended up out snapping him 37-29. I think that is the first game this year that has happened. But Sanders just missed a 10% target share, so he's like 9 point something. That's the first time that's happened this season. So usually he has over a 10% target share, which is not good. But we're just trying to say this game was a little bit out of the normal for Miles Sanders. Jason, he did get a touchdown still.
Miles Sanders got a touchdown?
What the fuck? Oh, I clicked on the wrong one. My bad.
Yeah, I'm like, nah, bro. He only had 3.5 yards.
Why is this bastard 9 for 24 and a touchdown? What did I click on? Oh, week 3. We probably didn't have enough rushes for goddamn. Yeah, okay. Yeah, there's no sample size for week 4.
Yeah, because need wait, isn't it like 10 rushes to get it?
I don't remember, but he had 9 carries for 24 yards and a touchdown.
I thought so.
The week before, 14 carries for 43 yards the year before that. Dude. It's just not good for anybody here. At least he got a touchdown with, the Red Rocket back there.
Yeah, but, he still can't even get 65 yards of total scrimmage yards.
Yeah, and Jason, Chuba Hubbard is on my waiver wire show because running backs are so thin, dude. Like, if you can get a piece of a backfield that might be 50-50, you got to own a little bit of it. So
and this is, this was the second time we've heard of Miles Sanders having issues with his groin? So
that was a linger. I think that was preseason, and now it's
Yeah.
carrying on into the regular season.
Lingering.
He's a lingerer, man. That lingers.
Linger.
All right, Jason, are you hungry?
Yeah, why? What's going on?
You want to go to the Olave Garden?
Oh, I see what you did there, you son of a gun. Let me scroll down here. This was actually when I was doing the research on this. I couldn't even believe what I was even reading. But you better believe it. Okay, so ESPN rejected him at 13, and he finished was with 0.5. And my next note, what I just explained to Tyler, this is surprising because he faced a Buccaneers secondary that gives up the 23rd most fantasy points to wide receivers. It was a low a season low for targets. He only had 6, and it was the first game all season that he only had single digits in targets. The previous game, it was like 10, 10, and 11. So the fact he had 6 is the first time that he had single digits. And it's also kind of weird because his cushion average was 6.5 yards, and he had 3.5 yards average separation were his stats. So it's like the problem wasn't there. He was able to get separation. He had a lot of cushion from the defenders. His average target air yards were 24 yards, Tyler, and had 50% of the team share target yards. So I'm sitting here just thinking about this. I'm like, where is this coming from? I'm guessing just Derek Carr and him could not connect this game. And I want to say that I believe you could probably chalk this up as a fluke. And then my next note, Tyler, is what do you say?
It is a fluke because Derek Carr should not have been throwing the goddamn ball. You should have let Jameis Winston play a fucking game. Olave would have got 200 goddamn yards. There'd been 4 interceptions, and they would have lost anyways. But still, dude, I was like, Jameis Winston revenge game against his old team, please, man. But so you're right on the head. He had 6 targets. Michael Thomas led in yards for this team and had 6 targets. So it's not like he was not being paid attention to. But Rashid Shaheed actually led the team, or led the wide receivers in targets with 7. So the injury was actually a benefactor to Rashid Shaheed. I would have thought whenever I see Rashid Shaheed, he's always catching 70-yard touchdowns. I would have thought he was going to be the one suffering here with the injury. But it looks like it might be Olave. And then also a compounding factor with Olave is the fact that Alvin Kamara got 14 targets, dude.
Yeah.
I have a stat real fast, Jason.
Okay.
So so Alvin Kamara had 13 catches for 33 yards. That's the fewest receiving yards by a player with at least 13 catches in a game ever, breaking the previous record of 71 yards. So he broke that record by 40 yards. Somebody had 13 for 71. That was the record. He's got 13 for 33.
That is crazy. Screw it, dude. PPR, that's 13 points right there.
That'd be like 14.5 points or half PPR or some shit like that.
Yeah, holy crap. That's insane. I didn't even know that stat. What, average 2.5 yards of reception?
Yeah, so dude, that's just a compounding factor with Olave, man. With that injury and Derek Carr is probably scared of the rush, everything, man. And Kamara's first came back, they want to get him involved. So yeah, that's definitely if you want to trade for Olave, you should try now.
But his air yards was still 24 yards. That's what he averaged.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'd still be, but I am still because Derek Carr is so tough, man. I'm from Bakersfield, man. We're country. Oildale, bro.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, right, man. He grew up on the rich side. We are the poor people. Yeah. We are the poor people.
We are the poor.
And Derek Carr, dude, I came from where you came from. You were on the rich side of town. Where the fuck does your accent come from? You sound like you're from the South. It's like you've been around. It's like you absorbed one of your girlfriend's accents or something. I don't know what.
Maybe he's just out of shame of Bakersfield. He's like, I'm not from there.
Bakersfield. It's like, dude, that's not. It's still California, man.
So, all right. Watch a lot of Goofy movies.
I love the Goofy movie.
Yeah, they're pretty funny.
Made me want to go fly fishing. Cheese whiz. All right, Jason. So Olave. If I have Olave, I'm holding him. I'm not really worried. He's going to be a top 10-ish wide receiver all the time. If you want to trade for him, now would be the time. So try to trade for him. All right, Mr. Jason.
Yeah.
You ready for the final crash?
The last one.
And it sucks, man, because I was all hot and bothered by this guy in the preseason. I was like, you should probably get this guy. He had like 7 touchdowns in 5 games. It's like the red zone target for the 49ers, man. He's got like all this opportunity in the world. All that went out the window over the offseason, Jason. It's a whole new strategy this year.
Yeah, this one's kind of short. George Kittle, ESPN projected him with 8 points, and he finished with like 0.5. Only 1 catch, only on 1 target. But, McCaffrey pretty much stole the show with his 4 total touchdowns. And then Ayuk and McCaffrey were the only players to record more than 2 receptions. I don't even think Deebo Samuels had a reception in this game. So there was only like 2 people that were actually playing for the 49ers. And then, this is going to be a common thing for George Kittle when Kittle, Deebo, and Ayuk and McCaffrey are all playing, right? Like we talked about this before. It usually takes like an injury before someone really stands out, like we saw last week when Ayuk was out and Deebo did great, and Kittle also did great too. Was it like 7 receptions for 90 yards last week? But
yeah, and that was the team that, man, we expected that. I forget who they went against. Maybe it was
the Giants.
Oh, never mind. That was different then.
Yeah, so this is like it happened this week, and it could probably happen again if everyone's healthy.
Damn, dude. Brandon Ayuk, 6 for 148 on 6 targets.
Mm-hmm.
Christian McCaffrey is getting goddamn 8 targets. So they've got 14 targets, and they threw the ball fucking 21 times, Jason, like you said. So, like, Ayuk and McCaffrey's target share is insane. Like, almost 50%. It's like 45% for McCaffrey, like 35 for Ayuk. And, yeah, dude, so George Kittle, and they dominated that game. I think that if George Kittle doesn't get his early in the game, most weeks, he might not get much because they're just going to run the ball.
That sounds exactly like the Detroit Lions and Sam Laporta.
Well, who is it, Jason?
Sam Laporta.
I don't know why. It was because of the end of that. The end of that short was so funny, man.
Nice.
So yeah, dude, Kittle, huge disappointment right now, Jason.
Yeah, I mean,
I really don't know what's going to change. I mean, him or Deebo, like, it's going to take a special game for Deebo too. When the 49ers came out game 1, dominated the Giants, it was all Ayuk. So Ayuk is going to perform regardless, apparently.
Yeah, I am a bigger believer in Ayuk than I am in Deebo Samuel. And, like, this just shows right here that a division rival, one of maybe the easier defenses to face, and Deebo got nada. I think he had a few rushes. He rushed the ball, let's see. He rushed it for
3 times.
3 carries for 6 yards. And he didn't even produce a target.
And he's making bank, dude. He's making like 10 times what Ayuk is making.
I know. You see his chain? Holy crap.
Yeah, so, I mean, look at, Jason, the targets for Kittle. Kittle is outside the top 15 tight ends after this week, which is fucking crazy, dude. For you, where you drafted him, in Dallas Goedert, too. So, like, Dallas Goedert, Kittle, those mid-round tight ends are not working out, man, which usually is what they say happens. You either get it early or you get it late. You say, fuck the middle stuff. Evan Ingram has probably been the best middle-round tight end so far. But yeah, Jason.
Yeah, Goedert was somebody I was trying to get after if I didn't get Mark Andrews.
Me too. I was like, dude, look, Goddard is so consistent, man, and like Jalen Hurts loves him. Apparently, it was the system. But yeah, dude, Jason. I mean, like Kittle, 6 targets, 3 targets, 9 targets, 1 target. I mean, other than that 90-yard game, he doesn't have over 30 yards in a game. I mean, 2 points, 4 points, 0.5 points. I mean, he is like. You might as well just like Jake Ferguson, dude. I would rather have Jake Ferguson, or what was his name? Jake Ferguson,
yeah.
Jason?
For the Cowboys?
Yeah, I mean, I started him this last week, 7 for 7, 70 yards or some shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I would much rather have Ferguson. So if you could trade Kittle, just trade, man. Just trade him.
Yeah.
He needs like several injuries.
Yes.
Because it went from him being like the focus to like Ayuk. And I did think Ayuk was a focus, but man, not in the goal line. Like I really thought that Kittle was going to be catching 10 plus touchdowns this year.
Yeah. And it's not happening when everyone is healthy.
All right, man. All right, Jason. Let's see what time it is. Oh, that is the show. Thank you so much for watching. Please give us, hopefully we earned a thumbs up. Hopefully we earned a subscription. If you are not already subscribed, we need it, people. We need it. We're poor, and we need it. Doesn't give us money, but hey, it puts us on the road. Maybe
Yeah,
later
the
on in life.
journey. Enjoying the journey when we get there, as
But
we
guess
get
what?
there.
Yeah, but guess what? If it looks like we're having fun, we are having fun. Hopefully you're having fun.
It is pretty fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy.
Jason, send us out.
We got a video. We got some videos coming out this week. Where Tyler and I are doing the player pause on the Thursday night game, which is the Bears at the Commanders. So stay tuned to that. Exciting times. Do you play Justin Fields? I guess we'll have to wait and see. We'll talk to you later. Deuces.
Catch you on the flip side.